Hello everyone. So I promised that I would use this Daniel Smith 12 colour palette. Let's just move that one along. And do a painting and show you how it kind of can work in real time. First of all, I just want to share this one with you that I've already done using those colours. And some of you might be able to see that I've actually used some cling film with the underpainting. So if I go right in, you can probably see some of that. So this was me testing it out, and I'm really quite happy with how that's turned out. I have added some gold just because. So that's one that I've already done. This one is an underpainting, as I call it. So this was me using some of those colours from that Daniel Smith 12 colour set that I've curated. You can see here I've used the Piemontite or Piment, I'm not sure how you say it, Piemontite. And then we've got some Nicolazo yellow going on. We've got some of the olive green here. But it is just, oh, and that was which blue was that? Lunar blue. So I literally just sploshed the paint around, quite wet, on wet, and then put some cling film on there. And this is kind of how it's ended up. So let me just see if I can bring that down a bit more. And if we move that over, we can move those in. And whoops, I've knocked everything. Oh, I'm just not professional, am I? Never mind. So I'm going to now add to this painting and finish this one off using these colours for you. Let's get a paintbrush and some water. So let me just see which paintbrush I might want to use. I think I might use I'm not sure if this is showing, my trusty Van Gogh size. No, am I going to get that to... Anyway, it's a Van Gogh size 8. So we will pull that out. Yeah, I don't think I will probably need anything much more than that. So let's have a go. Obviously, I almost quite purposefully put the Piemontite here because I'm going to be wanting to make those into trees. So I'm now going to use some sepia, and I'm just going to go over this a bit more. I might just take that up a bit further, like so. And I'm just kind of working with what I've got really on the page. And I will be using some of those coloured pencils that I swatched over the top of these Daniel Smith colours. I might make some of those into sort of rocks or something. Let's just see what happens. So we'll get that in there. And then I want to add some more greenery down the bottom here. So we'll start putting some more green in here. And I want to add a little bit of the Lunar Blue into these trees, because I don't want them to be one colour. I want them to have a little bit more dimension going on. I'll add a little bit more of the Lunar Blue in there, and I think let's try and make that, you know, like one of those kind of bits in the tree that have like a hole in the tree. I'm not sure if I'm expressing myself really well there. Okay, so now let's add some foliage going on. I'm going to start with Nicolazo Yellow. Yet again, there's always what I call the ugly stage in a painting. So this is probably not going to look that wonderful at the moment until I start to add a bit more. And then we'll add a bit of green in there. And we will define that a bit more. And get that little bit more, a few darks in there. And obviously I'm now going to start using some of the pencils that colour do I want to get some branches? Let's have a little look. So these are the pencils that I used over the top of those colours in a previous video. Let's try sepia and see if we can. It might still be a bit wet at the minute, but oh, doesn't matter because we're getting some interesting marks. That's okay. I mean, it's all experimentation. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this picture, by the way. It could be a disaster, who knows? But I quite like what's happened there. And where's our Payne's grey? Which one is this? This is the Payne's grey. I kind of want to... No, I'm going to have to wait for that to dry. Right. I am going to dry this before I go any further. So I'm just going to pause the video while I dry. Okay, so I've dried that off. And what I want to do is, what do I want to do next? I think I want to get some of those autumn colours in the leaves, and then I'll go back to the pencils. So let's add some of this Quin Sienna in here. So that it's got more of a autumny feel. And I think we'll put some of that at the bottom here as well. I'll go over this here a little bit so that we can see that there are. Let's add some Aussie Red Gold, which is slightly different, and Nicolazo Yellow. And I just want to get that impression of those leaves that have fallen off of the tree. So yes, that's a bit better. Right, now what I want to do then is find my Payne's Grey. Do I go for the lighter one? Okay, I'm going to try the 60% Payne's Grey and see if I can get some. Oh yeah, that's I want to get some kind of marks, like, I don't know, tree marks, cracks in the bark, whatever you want to call it. I want to get some of those in there, and maybe, you know, like a, I need to go darker. I need to go darker then. Right, where is, what's this one? Yeah, let's go back to our sepia and get a bit more of a, you know, where that's kind of got a crack there. Okay. There. Now our trees are looking a little bit more interesting, and I really like how, where I've used the cling film underneath, I'm sure there's a better word for it than an underpainting, but that's what I'm calling it. You know, it just gives it this kind of impression of little rocks, all sorts of things that are kind of going on. And I really want to just add a bit more of that Quin Sienna. I'm going to splodge about a bit. Just to give it a bit more of an autumny feel. So, yeah, I might, no, do you know what? I'm not going to add anything else to this one. I'm just going to bring this up. I mean, it is still wet. I will dry it and we'll have another look. But I think the colours and the pencils that I've used go really well. So let's just pause again. Okay, so I have now dried that. I mean, just look at those trees. I mean, I love it, and I love the colours that are going on. But I think I need to do something a little bit more in this foreground. So let me just see what colour I might use. Do I want to use that apricot colour? Was it apricot? Apricot. Let's give that a go. This is just all a bit of an experimentation, but I just feel like we need a little bit of something. That plus another colour. Where is that one, the russet? Yes, natural russet. Okay. So let's just put some of that russet in there as well and give a real kind of feel of all sorts going on here. Okay. I'm not that happy about some of these splodges here. Let's just get my paintbrush with just some water on it. And I'm just going to use the water to diffuse them a little bit. Rather than have them as blobs. I think that's slightly better. And let's just add a little bit to some of those branches coming off. Okay, so let's just undo this. Not sure which way I put this on, but maybe this way. There we go. Let's just take this tape off. Ooh. And where's the end here? No, I'm not sure what happened there. Let's go from the other end. This isn't the best tape to use, I would have to say, but this is just for an experimentation in any case. There we go. So now we can see that kind of very autumn-like painting, and you can kind of see that there's a lot going on with the background where I've used the cling film. So yeah, there we go. That's using those colours. I'm not sure that's my favourite painting. I think I prefer the one that I did before on a bigger sheet. But I did promise that I would show me using those, and yes, this is what happens. Things don't always turn out perfectly. So that is me using those autumn colours. I do also have something that I want to share with you, and that is a couple of there they are. Sorry about the blank screen for a while. Let me just pull up again. A couple more books that I have purchased. This one was secondhand on Amazon, and it's The Countryside in Winter by Brian Jackman. and I would have to say it's got some gorgeous pictures in it, but it also goes through the months. So it starts, I mean, look at that. It starts in October and it goes through to March, October to March. And you've got lots of little drawings, little sketches, but you've also got some quite big ones as well, like this, which is, let me move that water, which is quite fantastic. So yeah, you've got little studies. Look at that. Wow. There we go. So we've got great big pictures. And then we've got these little smaller studies as well. And these were the places that he took, oh sorry, not took, but made the sketches in. So you've got Powerstock in Dorset. Oh, that is wonderful. You've also got other places, Slimbridge in Gloucestershire, Exe Estuary in Devon. What was that one? The Wyre Forest, Hereford and Worcestershire, more Dorset, Northumberland. Somewhere in here, there is some, there's some Suffolk, there's some Glens and Highlands, Glen of the Eagles. I mean, it's just full of Blakeney, Norfolk. So this is obviously very dear to me. Minsmere in Suffolk. But you can see it's quite an interesting book that goes over a few months. And it's kind of his story and the scenery that he saw and the lovely paintings that he made. And this was this was second hand, so it wasn't very much. It was £3 something, I think. Even the front cover inspires me. So the illustrator is Bruce Pearson. Obviously I will put some links there. This next one I might even have to zoom out more for because it's absolutely huge. Nature's Powers and Spells, Landscape Change, John Clare and Me. So this is Carrie Ackroyd. She was inspired by John Clare, who's a poet, and this is the kind of journey of the paintings that she made, and she would put in little snippets of the poems that from John Clare. I have got that right, haven't I? Yes, John Clare. And so it's just really interesting that these pictures have these little bits of the poems in them, which is rather lovely. But yeah, there's all sorts of different types of glorious pictures in here that I think would be inspirational. But it's that link between the poetry and the pictures that she has taken on board, which I think makes for something that's even more interesting. And it was all to do with living in the same vicinity as John Clare had lived in when he wrote his poetry. So yeah, it's a really interesting book, but it is large. And I can't remember exactly how much this one cost, but I think it's well worth it for the inspiration that it gives, and just the colour palettes, and the way that things are depicted in places. And then you have something that's much simpler here. So yes, a really interesting book that I wanted to share with you. So I'm not sure which videos I'm going to put together. I've done a few short videos, and I'm not sure which of those I will kind of piece together. It's just been quite a hectic time, and I've just filmed little bits where I've been able to, so I'm hoping I can piece them together and that they make sense when I do that. So thank you for bearing with me, and yeah, have a good day.